Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out the video. So today we are continuing this thing where we read the comments from our recent videos. So I just did a react, and I'm sorry about the lighting out here. It kind of sucks. But yesterday I did a reaction to BAND-MAID's From Now On, and y'all responded. My best video in the first day to date. And I think upwards of like 80 comments. 80. So it's going to be a while to get through this one. I'm not sure that we're going to get to all of them, but we're going to try. I might break it up into 2 sections, do 2 recordings. I'm not really sure yet, but we're just going to dig in and see what happens. So, first up, Mr. Grant Nelson, Nealon, sorry. Says, welcome back, John. Another great reaction. Goosebump City. So many songs by BAND-MAID, another really good Japanese all-female band to add to your musical YouTube journey. I hope you have plenty of time. It's going to take you a while. Best wishes from France. Oh, thanks, buddy. I don't have plenty of time. I really don't. But the time I do have, I like to use, what would you say, efficiently. So, I like to dig into things that I like. I mean, who doesn't? That was kind of dumb and obvious, but I don't know. My brain's shot today. It's been a long week. Anyway, next up, Jeremy Dawkins says, one of the 4 instrumental gifts BAND-MAID have to... Oh, so there are 3 others. Don't Be Long, Without Holding Back, On Set, and of course, From Now On. That's kind of good to know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe because I like that I was kind of surprised because I made a comment. I was like, early on in the reaction, I was like, oh, the vocals haven't even come in yet. And then like, 30 to 45 seconds left in the song. I'm like, maybe there are no vocals. It was fun. It was fun for me. Motley 22 crew responded, says, don't forget they've also re-released their entire Unseen World album as an instrumental, along with a bunch of other songs that originally had vocals. That's what's up. I'm not nearly familiar enough with their catalog to really be able to appreciate that, but it's good to know. Psyche's Fang says, BAND-MAID is the genre. Yeah. No, wait, hold on. Everybody gets one. BAND-MAID is the genre. No arguments from this side of the table, ladies and gentlemen. Mock Miskel says, thanks, John. More BAND-MAID, please. It's in the works. And if you guys want to check out, if you want early access to my stuff before it's posted to YouTube, plus stuff that probably will never make it to YouTube because of copyright issues, check out the Patreon. There's Patreon exclusive stuff on there, plus you get early access to a bunch of my videos. So, Surfing a Song Wave says, okay, that's a big one. Surfing a Song Wave says, I wonder if all of these subgenres are the result of some A&R guy, A&R? I'm not sure what A&R bit is. Probably something really obvious. But we've already established where my head is today. A&R guy trying to justify signing a band, and he's afraid they can't swim with the big boys, so he invents some splinter genre they are really good at, and sells them as the best at that. As an outsider looking in, I wonder if the Japanese bands and music publishers really don't care about it much. There seem to be a lot of bands that jump from one genre to the next or mix and match even within one song. To my ears, it's just all music, and the only thing that matters is, does it affect me? I mean, at the end of the day, it's like the only thing that matters is like, do I vibe, do you vibe with this particular band or this particular song? Like that's really what it boils down to. But I think to your point about having some dude like invent a splinter genre to sell, maybe some of that stuff happens, but I think one of the reasons that BAND-MAID has the effect that it does is that it's not contrived in that way, right? They don't, at least from what I can tell, from what I can hear, it's like their integrity as artists is more important than being what would you say? Like, shit, what's the word? I know it. Well, whatever. Than being like, it's more important to them than being popular or having like mass crowd appeal, which ironically I think is one of the reasons why they do have this appeal that they do, because and I think I touched on this in this reaction specifically where I was talking about their riffs and how they let them breathe, and like the riffs are fully articulated, and there's no in one way there's no wasted movement, but in another way it's also fully fleshed out and fully articulated. And so there is this this balance, and from my own like artistic endeavors, the you only kind of like strike that balance when you're pursuing something for the intrinsic value, right? So when it's really meaningful to you on a personal level, it's a lot easier to come to that balance between, you know, like what's going to be popular, like what audience, what your audience is going to respond to, but also like keeping true to yourself as an artist. And so like if you were to like, I don't know, like dock the ears, you know how like they dock dog ears or whatever, they like cut the ears, but if you were to do that with your music, then you could see how maybe you'd be sacrificing your artistic integrity in the process just to make your sound or your art more palatable to the to the audience, to, you know. And so that would be like, if your motivation for starting a band is to get popular and to make money and to live a rock star, you know, centered life, then we can consider that extrinsic motivations, right? Because you're motivated by things that are outside of the activity itself. But I think, and I really kind of started touching on this idea with the Deftones stuff. It's like Deftones was the first band that I listened to on the channel that I was like, oh, someone's soul is on the line. This is different. This is not just music for music's sake. This is somebody trying to save and rescue their own, you know, like soul from the pain and misery and suffering. And so I think the closer you are to that ideal as an artist, the more of an impact your art is going to have. Okay, I know I rambled for like an hour there. Anyway, we'll continue because we're only 1/3 of the way through this comment. Surfing Songwave continues to say, BAND-MAID seems like one of those bands that changes and adapts their style. I would argue that it's not necessarily like they change it. I think that there's a natural evolution that happens. Like the more you dig in and the more you refine your craft, you become not just as a musician, but also as a group of musicians. So you start to understand each other, and you start to be, and so you start to like feed off of each other, and so you'll bounce ideas back and forth, and that accelerates the process of refining. And because each individual has a distinct and unique point of view, the more refined the perspective becomes, like the more unique the creation is ultimately. I don't know where this stuff is coming from today, guys. I apologize if I'm being wordy. Some of it may be Kanami Tono, who seems to have a wide range of taste and experience. Some of it may be 5 equal members who each have their preferences and who completely respect each other. You'll get comments that BAND-MAID is their own style, their own genre, and it's sort of true. You've heard 2 songs from them. If you listen to more, I predict you will say, well, I didn't expect that, a few more times. I hope so. I really hope so. Finally, what you were saying about the riffs that Konami writes is on point. I grew up playing classical music, and development of the theme is a big thing, right? Like the musical theme. Look for a Mozart piano piece, 12 variations on A vous déjà mama. I don't speak French. I'm sorry. or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or Baba Black Sheep, or the Alphabet Song. Konami does a similar thing. She'll play a riff, the exposition, and then immediately start altering it, the development. Actually, I would consider that the refinement process. And so I can speak a little bit about this because I play guitar a little bit, and I've recently got to the point to where I'm starting to like generate my own music. And so what'll happen, at least for me, is like I'll sit down with the guitar and I'll just like build a chord kind of like one note at a time, and like kind of feeling where the tension is and going with that. And then there's this thing that happens where I'll find something that I like, and then I'll just like strum that chord for a while. And then after a while, a couple of minutes, like a rhythm will emerge out of that, and I'll be like, ooh, that's cool. And so I'll dig into that rhythm, still on the same chord, and there's just like this natural flow of refinement where it's like, oh, now if I alter this at this point, I get a different sound. But it's not conscious in the way that I'm talking about it now. It's a very, like, the more in tune with the instrument you are, the more almost automatic this refinement process becomes. So, finishing this comment, sometimes she adds things to it, sometimes she'll strip it back to bare bones, but either way, it changes and moves as the song progresses. And it's not just Konami, they all do it. It really keeps your interest even with repeated listens. I mean, for sure. And I kind of learned this, just being a fan of tools. Like, the more like little wrinkles that are spread out throughout the artwork, and it's not just relegated to music, but throughout the artwork, the more like the deeper you as the listener you can get with it, right? Because each time you're picking out something new, you're picking out something new, you're picking out something new. Yes, sir. Falcon Sooner says, really good analysis. I like your comment about the riffs are expressive. The ladies always seem to have a specific purpose for each note. To my ears, this could be in a movie score, especially with the epic soaring leads. The bass provides a perfect change of pace, reflective or pensive in nature, before the song builds up in intensity and starts soaring again. Yes, sir. Well said. Glenner7 says, Konami may be afraid of heights, but she is fearless as a composer and performer. Glenn Beck says, disagree. She took this to new heights. Okay. Yeah, all right. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. But you say, at John.Reacts, perhaps Domination Live is in your cards. Their lives are even better than the music videos. That's what I've been hearing. And I'm not sure. I don't even know that I've listened to a live version. So No God, was that live or was that a live video? I'll have to go back and check. I can't remember off the top of my head. Gordon Cody says, genre? Prog hard, punk trad, heavy synth, classical, jazzy, pop rock, or BAND-MAID. So 2 for 2. Can't wait till you're 130 for 130. Yeah, all right. We'll get there. Greylock 100 says, BAND-MAID is the band that will defy your expectations and forge their own path. As we Maniacs say, BAND-MAID doesn't fit into any one particular genre. They are their own genre, and that genre is BAND-MAID. I can tell in the first 5 to 10 notes of a song if it's a BAND-MAID song or not. Granted, I've listened to every song they currently have available, plus a few that are not available, and I listen to BAND-MAID for 3 to 5 hours a day on average, either checking out reactions or putting my headphones on or earbuds in and jamming out with the volume cranked to 11. It's bad for your ears, buddy. Just kidding. Do what you want. And every single BAND-MAID song has that undercurrent of Konami's lead guitar, Misa's bass guitar, Miku's rhythm guitar, and Akane's drumming. The undercurrent of familiarity. The feeling that I know this sound and only one band makes it, and that is BAND-MAID. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Gordon Cody says their first album is straight up pop punk. After that, there's no pinning them down. Also, they didn't begin performing their own songs until the last song, Alone, on their third album. They didn't begin performing their own songs? I don't know what you mean by that. Were they just not touring, or were they performing other people's songs, or did they have stand-in musicians? What do you mean? Help me out there. Oh, goodness. What do we have? Okay. Jim S. says, I feel the girls channeled 1970s Yes. I'm a huge Yes fan, and this song is as close as I've heard anyone get to their jams. Misa's playing here is Chris Squire entering her soul. Damn. I love these girls. Doc Loco replied, they're definitely close to the edge. Yep. I see what you did there. We have Bob E replies, we have many wondrous stories about our band, about our mates to tell John about. Scott McGregor replies, honestly, to my ears, there are similarities to the beginning of Close to the Edge and different. I believe that there is a difference between progressive rock and prog. Prog has become a genre and sounds any more about perfection and execution, and not so much about pushing the boundaries of music. Replying to, okay, you can figure out who's replying to who. Jim S says, Bob E, indeed. I don't go into too much detail until I find out if a new reactor sticks with them or was just there to cash in on likes. I open up more when I know they truly get hooked. Jim S replies, close to the edge and different, huh? Interesting. I'll have to look into that. I thought prog was just an abbreviation for progressive. That's what I thought. I think I'll finish this. Scott McGregor says, Jim S, the close to the edge intro is very chaotic. I probably am reaching, but the chaotic writing and different puts me in mind of some of Yes' more aggressive tunes. Also, Misa does quite a bit of pick, similarly to Squire. As far as the terms prog and progressive was used to describe music that was changing the form of modern norms and in instrumentation. These days, there seem to be a ton of just aping past bands, especially in prog metal. There are tons of Dream Theater clones. Jazz fusion has become the same way. To me, there is nothing progressive about replicating bands of the past. Nothing wrong with it, just progressing music in the definition of the, just not progressing music in the definition of the word. Just my old guy opinion. I kind of agree with you. I mean, I honestly, I think it was Tolson Abbasi, and it was an interview with Rick Beato, if I'm remembering correctly, where he was talking about like what prog is, and if prog was different than like progressive rock or progressive metal, and like how it's kind of like morphed into its own thing. And I think it was actually his definition that I referenced, where he was like, I think prog is just anything that it can be anything as long as it's pushing the envelope into new territory. And so like country, in this way, you could consider country progressive if it's pushing the genre into new territories. So that's how I feel. Let's give you guys some thumbs. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Roger Chance says, at John.reacts, check out my favorite song, Manners, official music video. I'm not going to say it's not coming. Stay tuned. Jeremy Jones says, good stuff, John. I've heard from now on, like a zillion times, and the goosebumps just keep happening. Glad they're not lethal. Anyways, To pick your next BAND-MAID reaction, pull up BAND-MAID's YouTube page, put on a blindfold, step back 10 paces, and throw a dart at your monitor. Wait, don't do that. Thanks, man. Thank you. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, maybe not like a dart, but I don't know. I'm open. Justin Bowie says, best rock band alive, period. Dot. No exceptions. No arguments. Lonnie Kremlich says, I like it a lot too. Cool. Okay. Where are we? Goodness. So we're just about at the 20-minute mark. We're gonna go ahead and end, I guess, part 1 here. Whether I release this as 2 separate parts or edit the whole thing into 1, I'm not sure yet. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you back for part 2. Maybe in the same video, maybe not. Okay, so still not sure what I'm gonna do with this. If it's just gonna be like one video. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, if it's gonna be like one video or like set it up into 2 parts. But whatever. Welcome to part 2. This could also be part of part 1. Anyway, let's keep going. Erik Peterson says, that is Erik Peterson. Yeah. Anymore, when I listen to BAND-MAID, I get emotional because I want to play with the energy, love, and abandonment they do. I feel that. There is a lot of, definitely energy. Passion. I think ambition too. I was thinking about this a little earlier today. There's a like an ambitious nature, I think, to what BAND-MAID does. Barry Counts says, BAND-MAID is one of the best hard rock bands in the world. These ladies are awesome and shine when performing live. So check out Real Existence live or Domination live. Great reaction. Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. What is that? Wally R. Carp says, nice analysis. Thank you. Appreciate it. De Elf says, the riffs are just Konami talking to you. Konami? Having a conversation, letting you get to know her. That's one of the things that really struck me about music. Not right away. It actually wasn't until I started listening to Polyphia that I realized that like the expressive nature of music it's not just about technicality, right? It's about being able to express yourself in a medium such as music. There was actually a great scene in The Office that kind of highlighted this, or like, it's Andy and Dwight, and they were competing over attention from Aaron, right? So it was season 6. I'm kind of a fan of The Office, so I know it pretty well. So they were competing for attention from Aaron, and Andy was playing the banjo, and he was like, he did this real technical thing. He was like, like it, it sounded good. Obviously, it took a lot of time to perfect and get to that point. But Dwight was like, yeah, it's coming along. It's very technically proficient, but it doesn't have any soul. And then he does, just like just like strums a little bit on the guitar and sings, and so it like really kind of it was exceptional in highlighting, I think, the 2 aspects here. It's like you don't just want to focus entirely on technicality, but you don't want to let it go, by the wayside either. So there is a balance. Been talking a lot about balance in this one, but yeah, it does seem to be like a conversation. Like when you listen to particularly articulate riffs, you're like, there's communication happening here. Yeah, it's compelling, really. This is Madness says, songwriter Konami let herself go on this one. For more of their variety, check out Blooming, Puzzle, and Black Hole. Seen Black Hole referenced a lot. You have to look around for a live video of Puzzle. I know there's one on Billy. A official live video of Black Hole is on a YouTube video with another song, Manners. Cool. Good to know. Kevin says, we knew, of course, that you'd like this one. Well, it just keeps coming with these ladies. Sure seems that way. Bob E says, I'm the guy who says don't use punk and BAND-MAID in the same sentence, please. When I say that, I'm thinking about the punk of my youth, the OG 70s punk, which only shares its intensity with the virtuoso artistry of BAND-MAID. I'm informed that people are referring to more recent punk or pop punk or post-grunge alternative, like the Pixies, Green Day, Bush, etc., and not the Sex Pistols and Ramones that I can understand. I just don't think of those more recent bands as punk, which I totally get. I mean, there's a huge difference between like the Ramones and Green Day, and yeah, I don't know. I'll have to. Somebody commented that their earlier like BAND-MAID's first album was straight up pop punk, but I think that's what I was picking up with the No God was the not necessarily the sound but the intensity, right? So the intensity from someone for like the Ramones, right? It shares almost like a common ancestor, right, with BAND-MAID. At least for me, that's what I picked up. Bottom line, as others say, you'll discover BAND-MAID have loads of influences across the rock spectrum, and they've coalesced in their own amalgamation to forge their own genre. Next, to see them live, we have Domination, Freedom, Real Existence, Don't Tell Me, Moratorium, lots of stuff. And the list goes on. For more high-end virtuosity, try Blooming, the official music video. Take care and rock on. Thanks, buddy. You too. Appreciate it. T-Bone says, I get a punk, funk, anime-ish, hard rock, metal-ish vibe when I listen to BAND-MAID. Incredibly talented music. I mean, there's no question about that. Incredibly talented, just across the board. I'm not seriously trying to put them into a genre. I hope that's clear. I'm just having fun with the, whatever nonsense they inspire in me. Reese says, Ryan Meir pointed out that BAND-MAID throws away more riffs in one song that any other band might use in 5 or so. Saw this live and it's even more explosive. Great reaction review. Oh, thanks, buddy. David says, I think you are picking up on one of the things that I love in BAND-MAID. Their songs are songs. They start somewhere and go somewhere, not just a few measures played repeatedly. Yeah, I think we touched on this. It's like artistic integrity, I think, plays a huge role in really a lot of the bands that we look at on the channel. Because that's what, like, I don't necessarily need... It's almost like the more mainstream or cookie cutter something is, like, the less I maybe not the less I like it, but the farther it has to go that way to catch my attention, if that makes sense. Phil Cavino says, thanks for your reaction, John. You've really cut through pretty quickly to some of the big things that make this band special. The idea that their riffs are expressive and have follow through. They do, though. I'm proud of that, actually, the follow through thing, because that's really what it is. It's like they don't just like give up at the end of the measure. They carry through, and those pickup notes that join the phrases together really are like it's not even like glue. It's like the what's that thing? You know what it is. You know. Kintsugi. So it's the Japanese art of healing broken or fixing broken pottery with gold, and so it's like the the thing that like destroyed the work of art is actually the same thing that makes it more beautiful when you put it back together with this method. And so like the transitions from, you know, one phrase to another or one section to another are kind of like this this gold glue in the kintsugi art. So it's like the I don't know, musical form of that. They have follow through, and that all of the musical elements play a role in the larger song arc. Nothing is throwaway. BAND-MAID songs are zero-fat compositions. Kanami, the lead guitarist and primary composer, is a unique voice in the rock world. It also helps that she has great bandmates in Misa, bass Akane, Akane on the drums, Miku on the rhythm guitar. And even though she doesn't show up on this one, Psyche, the lead vocals. Maybe next try Manners and Black Hole. That's been a heavy request right there. A twofer to see some of their fun contrasts. Maybe it's already in the works. Who knows? Appreciate the comment. Killing Joke says they started with this in a Guns N' Roses concert. I think Axl Rose was so jealous about it. Well, I mean, if you're gonna open with that, but at the same time, like, are you gonna bring your weak sauce to open for Guns N' Roses? Like, I mean, Axl Rose does seem like a bit of a diva though, so he wouldn't be surprised if he did take it personally. Hagai Simon says 200 love to be roundish. Okay, appreciate the comment. Transitions are awesome. Yes, very much so. Let's see what we got here. Gary Lai says, good reaction and thoughtful analysis for BAND-MAID. Much better than a lot of reactors who don't say anything of substance. I think you get them and what they're trying to do. You're going to enjoy your journey exploring their other songs. This band is always evolving. Their songs draw influences from a lot of different places, but the lead guitarist, Kanami, who is the primary songwriter, has a way to bring multiple concepts together and tie them up with great hooks and melodies. You will notice experimental proggy verses, especially the second verse, and then poppy catchy choruses where you can just rock out. She also works in build-ups, drops, and other songwriting tricks in there. Much like how they like to mix in multiple overlapping sounds and layers, the band mixes together different genres into a single song. That does seem to be the case. Yeah, from the two... I can't believe I've only listened to 2 songs from them. It's kind of crazy, but... Ronnie Bruce Halford says, they do have songs where the punk breaks through like a chest-bursting alien. Warning and different mix... Oh, I see. Warning and different mix punk with either metal or prog, and Choose Me and Alone deliver pop punk without the nasalness or basic four chords. I mean, yeah, okay, like it's we'll get there. Prober61 says, BAND-MAID genre is BAND-MAID. They are hard rock, but so inventive, so fearless, and exceptionally capable to push the music to places you won't expect. They also have plain old rock songs and will leave you smiling. I mean, so I've been doing this channel, I guess, about 6 months now. And I talk a lot about contrast, and contrast being the first rule of art. And what I've noticed is that a lot of these bands that we look at on the channel, and I don't know if this is just like my persuasion, like these are just the bands that I like. I'm sure it plays a role, but the one of the things that I think sets a lot of these bands apart is that they do... they're not just locked into one sound. They're not afraid to experiment and refine their sound and try new things and go to new places. And, you know, when you take a risk in art, I mean, it can be scary. And so I think that you have maybe just a couple of options. It's like you can, you know, because you have to be vulnerable, right? When you're producing something, like when you're creating something new, there's a level of vulnerability that you have to take on in order to get into the space that you're trying to go to dig out that authentic expression. right? So you can either take that risk, allow yourself to be vulnerable, and reach for something new and imaginative and inventive that maybe doesn't get recognized immediately, because not all artists are recognized, for their greatness in their time. And also you risk, because you're vulnerable, you risk kind of a catastrophe in some ways. But the alternative being, like, you close yourself off, right? And thereby you restrict access to your own authentic expression. And so it's like it's the authentic expression, and I've been talking a lot about, like, artist integrity, which it's kind of like the same thing. The authentic expression and the artist integrity go hand in hand. And so if you're going to close off the part of yourself that allows you to access, the things that are, like, right outside of your comfort zone, which is what, like, propels the growth, then you may be able to produce something that's, successful, popular, that people like. But as far as generating something with substance that's going to connect with people over generations, I don't think you're going to be capable. I don't think you're capable of doing something like that unless you figure out a way to get yourself into this space of vulnerability that allows your expression to fully manifest through whatever medium that you're using. I don't know if that made sense, but I feel like it sounded good. We're good. Jason Nord says, love your reactions. Keep the BAND-MAID stuff coming. For sure. Definitely, buddy. But also dying to hear you react to Carrick Spin and their song Mindset. Okay. I mean, my plate's pretty full right now, but I mean, we're always looking to add more stuff to the roster, so. Albert Cornett says, BAND-MAID is their own genre. Yes, sir. I was getting that. Albert Cornett also says, my daughter and I saw them do this live in Phoenix last October. Oh my God, they rock. Jealous. A little bit jealous. Oof Dad says, greatly enjoyed your reaction and on-point analysis of BAND-MAID. They have developed their characteristic sound to the point that it is very hard to merely pigeonhole their music. Yes. Yes, I would agree. Poe. Oh, yeah. Goosebumps are a common side effect of this incredibly talented and dynamic band. Hope that you fully explore and enjoy their wonderful music. Cheers. Oh, thanks, buddy. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I love this format. So I'm taking my time. I'm in no rush because I like to let the experience simmer. And that's actually, I think I was thinking about this too. I think that's part of the reason why I like doing the comments after, because it allows for like a deeper processing of the music itself. Because so you guys are like responding to my reaction to the music, and so you're adding context and you're helping me build like a mental database of what this band is and what they're about to help provide like the foundation for, you know, the rest of the music, you know, that's on the horizon. I dig it. Shikataganai 100 says, 1, they aren't metal, hard rock. 2, they are the best live rock band on the planet. Okay. Well, I don't know if they're hard rock, because a bunch of other people would disagree and say that their genre is BAND-MAID. So I don't know who's right there. What's that? Jeff B5 says, good work on your reaction. Oh, thanks, buddy. Many songs have been mentioned, so I'll just do one that hasn't. Dice, Different, from their official page. Like Manners Black Hole, which was mentioned, this is a double song video showing 2 of their many musical sides. Enjoy your journey. I've loved mine. At John Reacts. Well, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Shamalama Ding Dong says, was that a stank face or a trying to keep your melted brain from running out of your nose face? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. It was definitely involuntary for a good portion of that. I tried to let it go a couple of times and it just came right back. He says, haha, just kidding. Another fun and insightful reaction. Oh, thanks, buddy. This band is celebrating their 10th anniversary this year, and as I am sure you have been told, they have quite an extensive catalog of music. You will hear just about everything on your journey. I will not tell you how great and amazing they are, because that is up for you to decide for yourself, but you seem to already have a grasp on why we love them so much. Good day, sir, and see you on the next one. I would agree. I don't understand, because there are people out there who, like, hate BAND-MAID. I'm like, and it's not even like people who, like, don't like rock music or metal. It's like people who love baby metal or who love, like, Love Bites. I didn't realize that there's this, like, almost like these points of contentions between the fan bases, because they're all good. Like, I don't know. Again, maybe it's just me. I like because my focus more when I'm listening to something is I'm reaching more for the authentic expression aspect of it, rather than, like, is it a specific sound that I like? Is it, you know, are the vocals what I like? No, it's not really about that. It's like, is this band pushing the envelope in some way that resonates with me? That's really my only criteria for whether or not I like something. It's like, does it resonate? Kotaro4 says, another great reactor who can enlighten us with depth of knowledge. Wow, kind words. Subbed. Appreciate it. Please continue reacting with BAND-MAID. That's the plan. Low key, don't hold me to this, but my goal is, like, one reaction a week to BAND-MAID, Baby Metal, and Love Bites, to just for the foreseeable future. So, Hoao Mateus, forgive me. Konami is a genius in music composition. I already listened to 60 or 70 songs by BAND-MAID, all different, all excellent. Good stuff. Roger Chance says Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd, Iron Maiden, Ozzy, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, Pantera, Alice in Chains, BAND-MAID. I mean, okay. Like, I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, I was trying to think of another band that I could add to the list. I don't think I'm that well versed in BAND-MAID's catalog yet to be able to do that with any sort of authority. So I'll just take your word for it. Richard says, if I have to put BAND-MAID in a genre, I would say they are modern prog rock. Okay. I dig that. Commander Cronus says, please react to Azalea by the Korean rock band Rolling Quartz. Don't walk to it, run, please. Okay. Maybe. You never know what's right around the corner. Paul Farmer says, now listen to Choose Me. I'm not going to say yes. I'm not going to say no. All I'm going to say is more BAND-MAID is definitely on the way. So, Sugan Esina says, Konami took the vocals in her own hands on this one. I don't know what you mean by that. I feel like I should, but I think I missed it. I think it went over my head. Pale Horse says, best thing to do when watching BAND-MAID and most other Japanese rock and metal bands is to drop any expectations that previous songs may have given you. BAND-MAID, Wagaki Band, Nemophilia, and others have a core sound that they rarely, if ever, truly deviate from. But they do what they want, they play whatever they feel like, and they make it work extremely well. They say they're a hard rock band, so that's what I call them. Good enough for me. You know what? Yeah, you shouldn't be so quick, I guess, to discredit or discount the band's own identification for whatever genre they're fitting into. So if they say they're hard rock, then, you know, We should probably go with that. Control Visual says, thank you for reacting to BAND-MAID. Oh, my pleasure, buddy. Thanks. Gordon Cody says, I don't see you have reacted to Nemophilia yet. You ought to. Raite, Revive, Dissension are probably my favorites, but all their stuff is good. They may or may not be on the docket. I may have something planned. I may not. Sorry, eh? A Canadian in Thailand says, so no God, and from now on, yeah, you started with the more prog-leaning BAND-MAID songs, but don't get the wrong impression that they are just a progressive rock band. That would be like believing Michelangelo specialized in covering up water stains on ceilings. Solid analogy. Solid. Well, I guess it's a metaphor, but you know what I mean. BAND-MAID specializes in melody, song, and changing things up every 16 bars with new counterpoint and drum patterns. Taken individually, you'd think they were all playing lead parts, but then the parts mix so well together that while you can clearly make out the individual melodies like a good classical baroque, they all make a complete composition when played together. Konami is the goddess of writing and arranging for melodic movements in 3.5 minutes. Appreciate it. He goes on to say, when you've done a few more of your average BAND-MAID songs, then you can check out Gyeoncho, one of their April Fool's Day presents to the Masters and Princesses, where they become their alter ego band Mako, and take us through a cinematic stroll through the old-timey streets back to the days of ancient traditional J-rock. Well, all of that sounded very cryptic and fascinating. Brian DeVito says, 10 minutes watching your head explode over and over again is time well spent, sir. Rock on. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Evil Duck says, this band writes innumerable incredible riffs and will crush you with them. Most bands, in my experience, have a few riffs that stick with you per album. I swear this band puts that many into each of their songs. I don't know, there's just something about this band that is dug into my brain and won't let go. I kind of get that. Keep on enjoying. They're basically all great. I'd recommend Blooming or Manners next. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. Big Bonnet says, I've said it before, BAND-MAID aren't metal, but they aren't not metal. They're BAND-MAID doing BAND-MAID things. I like those things. Hey, I like them too. Maniac88 says, BAND-MAID doesn't play a certain genre. BAND-MAID is a genre. Just are the greatest rock band in the world. I guess they're just the greatest rock band in the world. Check out their official live videos. Seriously, any of them. Yeah, no, it's a thing. I need to. I know. The next one. Almost certainly will have a live video attached to it. Bandoneon says, like your reaction, BAND-MAID isn't punk, hard rock, prog, or like anything else. It's BAND-MAID. Yes, sir. I was getting that. Ex Demonus says, thank you for your reaction. BAND-MAID is amazing. Konami is amazing. All of them are amazing. I suggest you the song Freedom. Live video from their YouTube channel. Oh, with the tag. Appreciate it. Thanks again. No problem. Graham Reed says, pop punk has been with them since the beginning in 2013. Konami, the lead guitarist and music writer, the queen of transitions. Great reaction. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for checking out the video. Appreciate it. Wait, what happened there? Okay, there you go. Martin Coos says, thanks for the great BAND-MAID lunch break. Not a problem. Thanks for checking it out. Rith1 says, I got goosebumps just watching your reaction to this track. Well, I got goosebumps listening to it. So, samesies. Freewheeler to Go says, when it's all said and done, this band will be considered one of the best of all time. Hard to deny. T0 says, aside from the two vocalists, they all read. Misa didn't quite get all the theory they dropped on her when she and Akane were at the Tokyo School of Music, but she's enough of a pro that she can play anything you put in front of her and even improve on it. However, Konami will sometimes test Akane's prowess when programming drums for the demos, and Akane will straight up tell her this drum part cannot be played by a human being. I guess it's a good thing that the beast in a banana powered half gorilla, half drum machine, because she always manages to come up with something awesome. J Liquid Flow says, BAND-MAID itself is a genre. Yes, sir. I was getting that. Christopher Scott Dempwolf says, great reaction. You had me at your definition of prog. But seriously, your analysis is fresh and insightful. I look forward to more. Oh, thanks, buddy. It's really good to hear. Appreciate it. Griish Esquire says, smiley face. Thumbs up. Armin Thieling says, great one. That you were listening to No God a lot gives me hope for more insightful BAND-MAID reactions. Oh, definitely more coming. If you think I'm insightful, then yeah, you know. They are hard to find. Really? Huh. Actually, there are just a handful of reactors that are really worth watching. You're one of them. Wow. That's high praise. Thank you. There is a crazy cool band from Japan I will recommend some other time. Let's make it a riddle. Cold flower or chilly weather in springtime? Sorry, had to do this. Cryptic. I like cryptic shit. Okay, funny story. I hit refresh, and apparently there are a bunch more comments that I missed. So let's take a look. Oh, it was edited. Okay, that's why it's different. So good job. BAND-MAID is it's BAND-MAID. So of course, expect the unexpected. Thank you, John. Thank you. Rod Carter says, I really enjoy your style and analysis. Good job. Good full spectrum presentation of BAND-MAID sound would be the live of Manners Black Hole. From the groove of Manners to the controlled chaos of Black Hole, I think you'll have a lot to say. Thank you. New sub here. Thanks, buddy. Manners Black Hole has been one of the biggest requests, so it's definitely on the horizon. But I think I want to do something a little bit more special. So stay posted. I'll keep you posted. Whatever. Okay, and this is the last comment. So Erik Bays says, at John Doe Reacts, I just watched your Read the Comments video for No God and was noticing a lot of the cryptic comments, but unfortunately no one seemed to post anything that would help give context. So, to provide some clarity about the band's history and some of the references, here we go. Miku Kobata, rhythm guitar, main lyricist, second vocals. Miku Kobata. The band's founder. She was in a typical J-pop trio called Likumen that didn't go anywhere and ended up working in a maid cafe. If you're not familiar, Japan has many themed restaurant cafes where staff dresses up in costumes, and maid cafes are generally the most popular. I was aware. I guess I didn't. I don't know like the extent of the popularity, but I knew that like that was a thing. While working in the cafe, she got the idea of a band of cute girls playing cool music, and what she calls the gap between what you see and what you hear. Oh, that makes sense. With the concept in mind, she looked online and found Konami. So like this is something that I think I didn't hear. Someone told me that Maynard James Keenan of Tool said. Like, one of the reasons that he dresses up in like these outlandish costumes when he goes on stage to perform with Tool is that he doesn't want he doesn't want to be considered like the front man of the band, because there is no front man, right? And so, which is why, like, if you see them live, it's kind of hard to figure out where he is. Usually he's like off to the side in the back, like out of the spotlight. But it's like, it's that same thing. It's like, he doesn't want to give it. It's the same thing, but it's applied, I think, in a different way. Whereas, like, at least from my understanding, like, the gap between what you see and what you hear is like, BAND-MAID has a very specific look and a very specific sound. And if you only heard them, then you might not necessarily know that they're all dressed as maids. But at the same time, if you only ever saw them and couldn't actually hear what they were playing, you wouldn't necessarily know the type of music that they were. So it does create this gap, right? And I think one of the functions of the gap is to defy and to buck expectations, because if it's done in a masterful way, then having your expectations bucked can be one of the most enjoyable and refreshing experiences ever. He goes on to say that Kanami Tono, the lead guitarist and main composer, was a singer, songwriter, gigging around the country and posting songs on YouTube. Musically gifted, she started with piano around age 4, but plays guitar, bass, and even a little bit of the drums. I want to say she can play the violin too, but I can't confirm that. I mean, she probably can. Like, if you have a solid understanding of music theory and you can play like one string instrument, then you can play, maybe not to the same like level, but you can figure it out. Anyway, Miku approached her about the band concept, and long story short, Kanami was on board. They just needed a drummer, and Kanami knew a drummer she frequently gigged with named Akane. Akane Hirose on the drums was a working session and gigging drummer who attended what I think is a fairly prestigious music academy. For what it's worth, she also plays trombone. Y'all didn't know that about me. I played trombone, like 4th grade through 12th grade, so like 8 years, I think. I did jazz band, concert band, marching band, all that nonsense. Akane is the oldest in the group and probably the nerdiest or dorkiest. She's the anime fan and has arguably the most comical persona. She also has the biggest appetite of all the girls, and if you dive into some of their music videos, Akane will frequently be seen eating stuff. She loves bananas, especially, and when you combine them with that love with her powerful drumming, you get her nickname, the Gorilla. Okay. All right. Anyway, being kind of dorky and tuned into the anime or maid cafe subculture, she understood the concept and joined the band. Now they needed a bassist. Misa, yes, always capitalized, and just one name. It's a, what is it, a mononym? Is that what those are called? Or mononym? Moniker? I don't know. Was a bassist that Akane knew from the same music academy. She looks tough and serious, and the bottle of Jim Beam on her amp helps give off that impression. But she's actually just really shy, and off stage she is apparently the funniest or silliest of the group. I can kind of see that. I know a couple of bass players, and they definitely seem to be. They're a different breed, but only with those she's closest with. When she was approached to join the band, she was hesitant at first, partly due to the costumes and partly due to the negative experiences being in bands prior, but she liked the sound of the music and gave it a shot. While she wore French maid style costumes in the early days of the band, she quickly transitioned to her current long dark robe look. That dark look, along with her preference to play barefoot, earned her the nickname Barefoot Assassin. With the main musicians assembled, the band was complete, except Miku, the founder and nominal lead singer, realized that her own voice wasn't right for the band. She has a beautiful singing voice, but it doesn't have the power and edge she wanted for the band, so she decided to step back as lead singer, auditioned a new lead singer, and on Kanami's suggestion, start learning guitar so she could play rhythm on stage and sing harmony. So the search for a new lead singer started. and they found Psyche. Psyche Atsumi. First of all, too, like the level of just humility I think that you have to recognize that, like, my voice isn't right for this. Let's find someone else who could do it better than me, because the band is more important than any one individual member. Like, I mean, I think that speaks to the maturity, of the band as a whole. And also, it kind of ties in with what we were talking about earlier, in the sense that, like, you have to get to new, like, spaces of vulnerability in order to be able to push the envelope in some way. And you're not going to be able to do that if you're fooling yourself into thinking that there's nobody better than you, or that somebody couldn't come along and do it better than you can. So not necessarily surprised by that, although it is, I would say it's rare to see. Psyche Yatsumi, lead vocal, secondary lyricist, was a backing singer at the same record label as the band. Not to get too far into Japanese music industry stuff, but generally speaking, musicians are contracted to labels or studios and work at their behest. It should be noted that early on, BAND-MAID didn't write their own songs. Their first EP and LP were written completely for them by songwriters on staff or contracted by the label, and only one song on their third release was written by the band. Okay, so that was that other comment earlier that said it wasn't until their third album that they started playing their own music. It's not that they started playing it, it's that they started writing their own music. So, I mean, I guess playing it too, technically, but of course that song alone was so freaking good that the record label said, okay, you can write all your own music now, we trust you. And the band hasn't looked back. Anyway, back to Psyche. When she auditioned, she wasn't told about the MAID aesthetic because it was feared she wouldn't want to participate. Sure enough, she hated wearing the apron part of their costumes in the early days and threw it away after their first few concerts. Like Misa, she quickly changed her look to be more of a hostess, or mojodomo, master of the house, aka the boss of all the maids, butlers, and housekeepers. Known as the Ice Queen for her cool demeanor, she is the quiet and serious contrast to Miku's bubbly, talkative persona. Having covered the basics of how they formed as a band, let's get into some of the inside jokes and references. The pigeonhole and P.O. Okay, this is a bit of a language joke. The kanji, one of the 3 ways to write Japanese, that make up Miku Kobata's name, can be read as 810-year-old pigeon. So she joking, that's hilarious, actually. So she jokingly calls herself an 810-year-old pigeon in human form. To the Japanese, pigeons and doves are the same thing. Interesting. And technically they are. So pigeons have the same connotation of peace and love that doves do in the West. That's a good thing to know, because pigeons are, like, considered not, they're like trash birds, I guess. I don't know. In the West, anyway. Where we imagine the sound a pigeon or dove makes as a coo, the Japanese think they make a kuropu sound. Miku adopted the shortened version of poo. Okay. Has a quirky way to end her sentences, like an intentional verbal tick to emphasize her pigeonness. That's hilarious. Konami and Psyche's one-way relationship, I don't know how much of it is purely stage persona, how much was instigated by their early record label, or how much is actually sincere, but at the very least, the onstage character of Konami has a massive crush on the onstage persona of Psyche. There's a common trope in Japanese pop culture of cool silent women, in this case Psyche, earning the romantic attractions or even the lust of their female peers, especially the ones who would be considered innocent. Often played for laughs, with the innocent one being comically awkward or even accidentally perverted around the object of their affections. Really good data dump there. Appreciate it. He goes on to say that BAND-MAID, officially BAND-MAID, is a completely different band. On April Fool's Day, BAND-MAID announced that they were ending and Band Maiko is starting. Maiko is an apprentice geisha, and the band is a rock band of Maiko dressed up in full Maiko regalia, like geishas, I guess. I don't have their names handy, but each BAND-MAID, I think it was listed earlier, each BAND-MAID member gives himself a name or persona as part of the band Maiko concept. It was a fairly elaborate prank because as band Maiko, they released a full EP of remixed and rearranged versions of some of their songs, complete with traditional instruments inserted into the mix, and completely rewritten lyrics in the Western Kansai Ben dialect. The Kansai region of Japan, where Osaka and Kyoto, the old imperial capital, are, is the cultural home of the geisha or Maiko. That makes sense. And where modern geisha culture is centralized. And the lyrical content references a Maiko's life and perspective. The most notable songs are Secret Maiko Lips, based on Secret My Lips by BAND-MAID, and Gyoncho, which is an original song written just for the Band Maiko project. Clupo, another April Fool's event, but really more of a side project by Miko Kobata. Really leaning into the pigeon dove and bring peace to the world concept. Miku as Clupo. There's that Poe again, huh? Released an album of what she calls hippie pop. Not that it sounds like hippie music from the 60s and 70s, but because it has a peace and love message and vibe. Very poppy with strong city pop vibes. City pop is a Japanese pop genre, most popular in the 80s and 90s, that mixed pop, jazz, lounge, and R&B. Clupo really has nothing to do with BAND-MAID whatsoever, other than Miku being in both. I think that covers most of the major points about the band. Their personas as distinct from their actual personalities, and some of the most common in-jokes. Thanks for reading this novel of a comment, and I hope it was helpful. Definitely was. I like cryptic. I have no idea what you mean, though. But I do know you have tool tattoos in your profile picture. That's what's up. Leon says, the way they use Konami's guitar to represent the vocal melody really makes their instrumentals special. She plays super technically, but she keeps herself restrained to the confines of the song. It allows the song to stay melodic throughout, which makes them easy to listen to rather than feeling super complicated. You know, that's actually a really good point. When I was in high school, I had my history teacher in 10th grade was trying to get us to write better papers. And he basically said, addressing the class as a whole, the papers that he read were a little bit like you guys just took all of the facts that we had talked about and just threw all of them into the paper, regardless of whether or not it was actually appropriate. And so he used this analogy of a stew. And he was like, so if you just like open up your pantry and throw all kinds of crazy stuff into a stew, you know, like whatever, like carrots, garlic, beans, you know, salt. Okay, these are all like stew ingredients. Hold on. You know what I mean. Oranges, whatever. The point is to be selective, right? The point is, it's to know when to use your abilities and when not, right? And so the greater context, like this will ruin a piece of music if like one person gets too heady and tries to you know, do the whole thing as like a solo feature. Sometimes it can work if that's the, you know, from the outset, if that's the goal, to like feature one musician in one way for one specific thing, like that can work. But when someone like basically just decides that they're not getting enough screen time or airtime or whatever it is, and so they start doing dumb stuff like turning their volume up and this, that, or the other, and drowning out the other bandmates, that's when you run into trouble. And like the same thing you can say about technical ability too. Like if you can shred on the guitar but that's your only thing, like you don't know how to play melodically, you don't know how to articulate yourself in the context of the music that you're trying to create, then your whole thing is built on a foundation of sand. Like it's gonna kink, it's gonna crumble. Carlos Redamo says, welcome to the BAND-MAID rabbit hole. So many good songs. I recommend live versions of the Maid's instrumentals on set without holding back. Other songs, there's so many. Puzzle, Freedom, Awkward, Domination, Warning, Manners, Matchless Gum, Play, Turn Me On, old songs like Unfair Game, Buy My Tears, Uragu, and the 18 million visit in YouTube, Thrill. So many others, too. What did you guys say? I think there's like 130 in total or something. I think somebody said that. Timber1508 says, at John.reacts, thank you for a very good reaction and analysis. Oh, thanks. Subscribed. You are just scratching the surface with BAND-MAID. Although you started with 2 of their more intense tracks. They're their own genre at this point and an amazing live band. For a good representation of them in a concert setting, I'd recommend taking a look at the Domination official live video with the link provided. Appreciate it. They are playing 2 festivals in the US this coming May, Florida and Ohio. Also, having reacted to Love Bites and BAND-MAID, you might as well continue your J-Rock indoctrination by checking out the third band of the current Holy Trinity, in my opinion, Nemophilia. Try this one. Ooh, with a link. Cool. They are also doing a limited tour in the US in March this year. If they are playing anywhere close to you, it's a must-get ticket. Wow. Appreciate it. Eventually, you will discover Hanabi, Hagane, Unlucky Morpheus. Actually, I did Unlucky Morpheus. I did Black Pentagram as a double feature. I can't remember if it was a double feature. I think it was. Maybe not. But yeah, I have a reaction to Unlucky Morpheus' Black Pentagram up on the channel, so you can go check that out. Gakurik, Spin. Aldius, Osterism, Tricot, Scandal, Trident, Wagaki Band, Ningen Isu, Maximum the Hormone, Bride Deer, Fate Gear, Mary's Blood, Headphone President, Lonesome Blue, Mardelius, Shoya, Baby Metal. I've done a lot of baby metal. on the channel. Mari Hamada, D-Drive, Galnerius, Doll's Box, and no doubt many more. I read all of these because... Okay, another story. Well, I'll finish the comment and then I'll tell the story. It is a very, very deep rabbit hole that you will never want to get out of. I'm getting that. I'm feeling kind of trapped. I have other subscribers who are fans of other music on the channel, and I feel like I'm just... Because all I'm interested in right now is the Japanese metal stuff. So, sorry, I guess, if you're looking for other content. But for right now, this is where my head's at. Anyway. And now, since I finished the comment, I forget what I was going to say. It's okay. It's all right. No story, I guess. Maybe next time. And finally, Wansan says, good job. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Hey, so we made it. All 80 comments or whatever it was. In pretty good time, too. I think less than an hour. It's not bad. So I'll probably just edit this whole thing together and just release it as one and be done with it. So that's going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Drop a comment. If you're going to suggest that I take a look at stuff, at John.reacts is the way to go. Because, you have to put that in the comment. Because at this point, I've gotten so many suggestions for so many songs from so many different bands that when I go to plan what I'm going to do for the day or what I'm going to react to that day, I'll go right to my comments section and I'll just do at John.reacts, and then whatever comes up, kind of really honestly, the first thing that piques my interest is usually what I end up going with. So My hope is that as this thing continues, the whole process will be a little bit more compact and, refined. But we are where we are, and we're making the best with the resources that we have. So that's going to do it for me from this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like I said, that other stuff. Links in the description if you want to support the channel further, if you like what I do. And most of my videos can't be monetized. There's a link to my Patreon down there, so you can check that out. Other than that, I'm going to get out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.